What's going on, guys? I'm Jada Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Brittany Renner once again. She did this interview on DJ Akademiks' podcast where he is discussing her situation with PJ Washington and her trapping him, which is what it looks like, and I believe that's what it is. This woman is a bit older than PJ Washington, and she should have known better than to think that she could build a family with a 21, 22-year-old. But in her mind, she really thought she could. But I believe this is just a way to explain and her role in this situation and how she is not as mature as she wants people to maybe believe, and she wants to pass off blame. She wants to make it seem like he was the bad one in a relationship. He was a young basketball player. What did you expect? Seriously, what did you expect? Now, there's a few different clips here, but we're going to go to the Bro Bible article. We're going to read a little bit of this, and then we're going to get into what she had to say, because I find it very interesting how Brittany Renner has enjoyed the attention that she's gotten from this, but she doesn't want the accountability for this. Everything is PJ Washington. He's a bad partner. She's a good person. You know, there's all these chicks like her. They're all good people, right? They're just dealing with bad people. It's everybody else's fault. It's never their own fault. They pass off blame. That's what they do. And I think that's what Brittany Renner does. She passes off blame to try to make it seem like it's his fault, but we're going to get into this. Brittany Renner is fed up with people criticizing her previous relationship with Hornets player PJ Washington. Earlier this year, Renner split from Washington, who went on to call her out for faking their relationship months after giving birth to their child. This relationship fell apart. I even did a video about their situation and how I felt like it really wasn't going to last that long. Because has any of Brittany Renner's relationships lasted that long? Now, I would accept that PJ Washington was not a good quote unquote partner for her if she has shown proof through her relationships that she was able to maintain a long-term relationship. But we all know that Brittany Renner has not been able to maintain a long-term relationship since she's been in the public eye. But what she did do is write a book about all of her hookups with athletes, with rappers, detailing it. She has not shown that she's capable of being in any type of long-term relationship. So while she wants to go and pass off blame to PJ Washington, let's look at her history of relationships. Now, she was dating a guy while she was in college, and I think right after she got out of college, but once she gained Instagram fame, she left him in the dust and started dealing with these entertainers. That's why people have a low opinion of her when it comes to relationships and the men that she deals with, because she does not know how to choose men. This is a woman that's almost 30. And all she has done was be an industry, basically an industry thought. That's what she has been. So she wants to make it seem like, oh, it's PJ Washington. It's all him. He did not know how to be a good partner. Brittany, you wrote a book talking about being conquered by men, various men in entertainment and sports. So how is it just PJ Washington is the problem when you have not shown that you yourself can get into a long-term relationship and have it work out? I think in Brittany Renner's mind, she's a good person. But in reality, she's just like the rest of these women that wants to be in a celebrity relationship. They chase after NBA players. They chase after rappers because those are the quote unquote high valued men in their eyes. And they would rather be in a 2-week relationship with them than be in a long-term relationship with anybody that isn't them. So we have to look at your history and look at the things you've done before we listen to you talk about how bad PJ Washington was, because we don't believe you. Okay? I think PJ Washington was being a young man who was about basketball. He wasn't about being somebody's husband, being somebody's long-term boyfriend. And I believe she knew that. Fans accused Brittany Renner of grooming the younger Washington and hooking up with him just for the child support payments. See, now this is where Brittany Renner was preying on PJ Washington. He was 18 playing at Kentucky. She was 26, about to be 27. What does a 27-year-old have in common with somebody who just graduated high school? But see, she's a good person, right? Listen, I have nothing against older women dating younger men. I have no problem with that whatsoever. As long as they are two consenting adults, I have no problem with it. But I have a problem with a woman trying to blame the young man for why the relationship didn't work when she has shown none in her history has not shown that she's capable of being in a long-term relationship. And she had a child with this young man. She started dating him, I believe, when he was at Kentucky. But it's all his fault. On Monday, Renner spoke out with internet personality Jaye Akademiks and defended herself from the accusations. Okay, now I'm gonna play this video here, clip here, at least a little bit of it, because I don't want any copyrighted issues. But we're gonna play at least a little bit of it. As a matter of fact, let me do this, so I don't have any issues. So we're gonna do this like this. All right.
Said already, so.
I've said this before. I'll just say it to your face.
Okay. Say it to my face.
PJ, if you're watching, cut this part off, okay? I thought he was the cash out option. I was like, yo, listen, you've been with way more, no disrespect to you, PJ. I told you to cut this off. You've been with way more litter people who are more successful in their respective fields. You know, he's a millionaire, grandest and third. But I felt that, you know, I always say about women, and tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just fucked up in my thinking. Maybe I need to change it. You're getting older, and you needed someone, and you probably always wanted to have a kid, right? And you were like, hey, listen, this is the person that I'm going to not necessarily cash out with, but this is the one who will do this with me.
It's like really audacious of you, because it just proves my theory that I've always...
Audacious. Okay.
I've always been in it for true love. I've been with men with way more money, and if I was truly an investor and trying to cash out so I don't have to work again, let me finish. I would have cashed out 5-6 years ago. Men with a lot more to live. I thought
everybody has you as a side chick.
You know, I don't believe that. I really don't. Those guys were smart. You know, when she messed around with Kaepernick years ago, Kaepernick made her basically pay her own way to go see him. Do you think that's a guy that's going to allow you to trap him? I don't think so. So when she talks about how she could have linked up with a guy that was way more successful and had a kid, I believe she tried that and it didn't work. That's why she got with the PJ Washington while he was at Kentucky. All right. She saw the potential and she wanted to be right there. Do you know how much of a boost of ego that a young man like PJ would get? You go from talking to a chick in her DMs that you've been following on social media for years to her showing up at your basketball games in college, and you know she's there for you. Do you know how much of a ego boost for a young guy that age is? Right? He's not thinking about the future. He's thinking about the right now. He's like, look who's here to see me. Look who's here to support me. She wanted to get with somebody that she felt like long term, maybe financially or socially, would be able to benefit her. She says that she could have had a kid or been in a better situation with a more successful guy, but she settled PJ Wash just because, one, she's a bit immature, and two, she was about 30 and wanted to have a kid. And she wanted to make sure it was by an NBA player. She didn't want to have no kid by no regular dude. What? NBA player is what she was looking for, right? That's what she was looking for.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought everybody else had just a side chick, and we
so
know
what about
the
makes me
dumbass nigga who wifes up the side chick, and we're like,
So what makes me a
What?
side chick? Because what, I'm beautiful? And
no,
what?
because the one who everybody fucks but doesn't wife, that's the side chick. Sorry.
So who have I...
He said, what makes her a side chick? A lot of these, listen, man, a lot of these Instagram models are side chicks, pretty much at best. They really are. And the only reason why a lot of them end up putting these guys, exposing these guys, putting them on blast is because they find out that they're side chicks. They find out that they're sharing this guy with somebody else. And basically what DJ Akademiks is trying to tell her is that she's basically going to be a side chick at best. That's what she's going to be. I don't think she's going to be anybody's wife, especially none of these rappers or none of these NBA players. She's pretty much has reached the peak of wherever she's going to be. And now with her being basically a single mother, a lot of guys just ain't going to take that risk with her. And she is going to basically be a side chick to these guys because they're going to give her an option. Either you be my side chick or jump off, or we ain't dealing with each other. But you're not going to be my girlfriend. I think that's what DJ Akademiks is basically trying to tell her.
Who have been side chicks?
You wrote a fucking book.
Who have been a side chick? But I was never a side chick.
Well, when you write a book about having
not any of the
casual
people I
sex,
wrote about.
and
I've
by the
been a
way,
side chick
not
before.
one of them claimed you. We assume, you know why men don't claim women? Because we have our real girl that we don't want to tell about you.
That's right. That's right. And DJ Akademiks knows because he talks to these rappers. DJ Akademiks talks to these rappers. So he knows that these chicks are basically being treated as side chicks. He knows this. He talks to these rappers. He probably looked at their DMs. He sees a lot of these chicks in there. So I think that he's giving Brittany Renner a dose of reality that this is the box that you're pretty much in. And these guys, and they're not going to see you as anything different. They might be cool with you. They might still want to sleep with you, but you're not going to be their main chick. There's a reason why these guys stay with the women that they were with for years, right? They never really get with a new chick long term. It's always a short term fling and then they go back to their ex. Because that relationship is pretty much set in stone. There's no changing that. So no matter how attractive you think you are, no matter how good your box you think that you have, these guys pretty much are going to put you in a category that you're not going to be able to get yourself out of. You're really not.
You know that. No.
Well, the people that, I mean, I know that there have been a couple instances where I'm like, okay, I know your situation, I don't care. But that was when I didn't have any respect for myself. But as far as the people that I wrote about, you know, the first person I wrote about, yeah, I was. That's how we ended up together for a few years because I willingly played the side chick role. But
you see, this is where Brittany Renner is. But she's not going to accept the truth because, again, it's everybody else's fault. You know, she still think that she has this high tier value. Brittany Renner's value was in 2015. That's when I first saw her, and I was like, she has a unique look. You know, she's not overly thick, she's not overly fit, right? She's not big as far as size, right? But she had this unique look about her, and she wasn't tainted by the industry yet. But now you fast forward 6 years, and she's very much so tainted to the point to where DJ Akademiks has to break it down for her that, listen, this is the category you're in. And she even admitted to being a side chick, but then tried to say, well, I ended up being in a relationship with him. You weren't in a relationship with him. He just chose to kick it with you. That's what it was. It was no relationship. He was not monogamous with you. Stop. But that's the industry nowadays, you know. But that's just my take on it. Let me know what y'all think, man. Like the video, share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right.